It's visible, sir?
Yeah, visible, sir. And you are clearly audible. Please continue.
Okay, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Ajay. I will teach you principle of programming language. Okay. We learn about a programming language with its principles in detail. We after that we learn about how to program. Okay. Sir, next. In this topic, we learn about definition of principle of programming language, history of the languages we learn in future. Right now, we are learning the principle of programming language, which name we called as C. After that, we learn about the features, how to design this programming language. No, sir. Okay. So that means we learn a language which can be used to code. So there are after that learning part, we our outcomes, our end of the day when we complete this module part, small module part, define the fundamental principle of programming. We learn about how the principles of a fundamental programming language, which we can bring in our programming, explain the history. We can also update about the history of programming languages. After that, we can say what is the features of this programming language and the issues. After that, we write a code, run this code, and make any application in this principle of programming language. So we know what the exactly issues we faces after we learn what can we learn. So many part after you practices about these languages, you will learn, you will get more update about that. After this, every programming language, like simple Hindi, English language, we have some grammatical structures which known as rules of that languages. So mean when we can build a website, we can build a program, we can build a software, then we need a language which define in their rule, their syntax, their kind of some approaches that the languages follow. So we after this lecture we understand what is the exactly this language use the syntax, semantic, and what the criteria we want to fulfill our program. Next, sir. So start with definition of principle of programming language. The principle of a programming language refers to the fundamental rules and guidelines that govern the design and use a programming language. These principles help to ensure that a language is efficient, it's effective, and easy to use. Like one example, when we code on our laptop, after that we start our coding on another system when we use our computer labs. Anytime we go anybody's house and we want code and run on that machine, which code we write on our laptop. So the machine, when you work on that program, it's run on your laptop also. We want this code run on every platform, and they understand what the purpose of that program, that application it's about easily. So we want every program, every programming language which principle guide us to motivate a simple, easy to use, effective, and efficient way. So so the language we learn, the language which provide us the principle so that we can help our programmings in much better manner. Next, sir. So the history about this programming language in almost 18 8 decade ago, approx in 1936, they start on programming. They start on how design a program. So the concern about that started by Conrad Juice is in mid 20th century programming language in uses in new field like business, like science. So there is a language, one of the earliest programming language was Fortran, formula translation used, which was developed in 1915 by IBM. IBM, everyone knows. Fortran was design and engineering applications. For the purpose of designing that language to use in scientists and engineer to code, to write. When we talk about the days 8 decades ago, means 1915 50s era was the Dell era of programming. There is no such kind of work done by any scientists in this field. So their approaches, their way of thinking just identify the scientific problems. They have such much better work done in science. So they want that science how can be better in on coming days. So automatic working like programming, like instructed, human instructed, user instructed. When a programmer think about that this work is done on that way, in that way, so we do that work in very limited time. So our work is so long process, but we want that process in small, effective, and efficient manner. So we need any languages that guide the computer. That's why computer only understand the zero and ones, which known as languages. Machine languages always work on switches on off. So kind of era when the systems are just introduced and we want working on our thought, our programming. We want to start input through users. So we need a interface. We need a kind of application, kind of helping hand, which can guide us to how instruct to a computer, a machine. So that the human readable codes are we want to write in our languages. Next. In 1960s and 1970s, a number of other high language programmer like high languages mean human languages like English, we easily understand the kind of word high languages and low level languages called machine level code. Machine level mean the computer work on that code is called as machine level code. Were developed including COBOL, BASIC, and Pascal. These languages were designed to be even more user-friendly than Fortran to be useful for a wide range of applications. In the 1980s, two new programming languages emerged, object-oriented programming and functional programming. Object-oriented programming is like we just input a object and we provide many attributes on that object like one class have many students, so we create a class. When we create a class, automatically we can assign any student on that class like thought object programming and the functional programming. We start a function, it includes many classes like our organization. So we thought about the new generations languages that called as high level languages. Oriented programming was developed to make it easier to write complex software system by breaking them down into smaller, more manageable pieces. Functional programming, on the other hand, was developed to make it easier to write programs that were more easily variable and that avoided the problem associated with a mutable state. Next, sir. Main reasons. Reasons mean we learn the part which always beneficial for our side, like we express our idea. It's improved context for selecting appropriate languages principle of programming languages guide us to which is good for that website, that applications, that type of any hardware related software. So we required every software for any electronic machine. So very important part to choose that languages we want to work. It is more secure, most efficient. Increase ability to comprehend and assimilate new languages. Better appreciation of significance of implementation. Next. How increase capacity to express ideas. We have examples. Lack of suitable control structures in Fortran. Fortran is a language. So we have used Fortran languages. After that, we know that the Fortran languages have control structure issue. Control structure issue we will learn in next chapters. Every languages perform appropriate task that built by any program languages designer, like C languages, like Java languages. Java languages have their library, their grammar, their syntax. We use that language. We know which part of this section is include the function, which part of this include the comment section. When need to improve that coding, that structured coding. So the lack of suitable control structure problem in Fortran languages, like use command and programmer discipline for control structures, lack of recursion in Fortran, CSV, that the features of any languages. We just hear the name recursion, here name the control structure. So we learn these topic in next part. But we know after use of Fortran languages, we describe by which language is better. So we wants to know, we need to know which problem the any languages have. Use command and programmer discipline for control structure, lack of recursion in Fortran, write a recursive algorithm. There's new word. Algorithm which we can describe a step-by-step process to run a instruction. Instruction means program. Any code you want to run. But firstly, you know about the idea. You know the structure. In that way, the program is be run. So you have the step of that program in your language. It's called as step-by-step approach to run a program is called as algorithm. Lack of name, constant, and enumeration in Fortran. That also the key features of any languages, constant, enumerations, use variable that are initialized one that never changed. Lack of modules in C and Pascal. That also the problem of these languages, C and Pascal. Next, sir. We also need to improve background for choosing appropriate languages like C versus Modula 3 versus C++4 system programming. That are the names of the languages which mainly used in that kind of field. Like system programming, like your system have many input part, mouse, keyboard. That part also had a on software called as device driver. So device drivers write in that language is prefer C. That the differences. We want to know in between these languages which is good for programming, which is good for numerical programming, numerical problems, embedded systems, networked PC programs. So these are the languages we compare in between them to find our requirement for code, our requirement to start our project, which language we need to include in our project. So firstly, we required that information. After that, we start to design that project, and after that, we code for that. So, firstly, we choose about which programming language we require, which programming language principle fulfill our requirement on that website. Yes or no? Yes. Queries we will take after the session. Next, sir. So we learn these things up in boundaries of that type of principles. Every programming language has their principles. That names are we now using syntax. The syntax of a language define how program written in that language are instructed and how they should be written. So every language has their syntax. Syntax guide us to how the program, how when you start your code in C, we include comment part, we include documentation part, we include main section part, we include many global declaration, local declaration. So we having a many part of a program. So any program when we start is has their syntax. Syntax define how the code exactly in written. Semantic. The semantic of language define the meaning of the language construct. What the program written in the language actually do. The semantic of a program define ki exactly after the using of the rules like instruction, the program how we proceed on next abstraction. Abstraction programming language provide different level of abstraction which allow developer to hide complexity and focus on high level concept. So abstraction mean we only declare your just syntax and semantic and main program structure. Not every line of code you want to display. This hide, this process of hiding your main instruction is called abstraction. We use in our programming language, there are ways to define that abstraction. In just in word, we hide the code. We hide the our code which we input to process line by line. Abstraction is define only simple part, only that part that understand by the by the following principle below, programming language can be designed to be more robust, maintainable, and adaptable to new requirements. These words are defining any programming language we use. It's also have the best features like robust. Any type of code you can run, you can maintain easily, you can adapt new type of any any need, like we have any extension to include in our languages, so we define that part also in our language. We started our project and any of that part of your language which is not included a part which is included by another programming language, so the difference for adaptation is not out of date, so we need that part in our part.
Sir, we can take a query. Sonu Dubey has hand raised, so I am
Yes, sir.
unmuting him and we can take his query.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
Sonu
they
Dubey, you
are.
can speak.
हेलो
Hello, Sonu.
हाँ सर सर एक बार एक्सप्लेन करते हिंदी में इसको
Sonu, I can't do on that platform because
Sonu, Hindi,
you-
yeah, Hindi is not allowed, and faculty is using very simple English. And as per the UGC guidelines, Hindi will not be used. Okay. You can reread and re-listen to the recording also, that when it will be available. So it will be in delivery will be in English only.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Dupi? Okay, son. Let's restart the part. Typing also refer the rules that govern the use of data type in a C programming languages. Any programming language we write when code, we need some type of input part like numbers, like alphabet. To that number, that alphabet, define the another term in that language. They define the rules, they define the data types, they define the tokens. So that name I use here, tokens, data types, that are not a term in our daily use, but when we try to code in a simple language in any programming, we need we required input part, like we need a addition of two number program, so we require two number, any number, one, other two, other three, any number we want number. So number is called, also there is a data type. Data type number data type is also part of many integer data type. There is float data type. There is like decimal values. We call that float data type. So when we started the languages, we learn about that type, that word. So you ignore that word data type. We will learn in our language. In any language, we proceed for the further. So then we learn that keywords, data type, control structure. Control structure where the program start. Exactly when you code addition of two number, average of any number, average of three number. When you start inputting a number and second number, then we compile a logic like the formula of average. Average equal to sum of number upon 3. So that formula, we need a control structure. When we put that code in that code, so the control structure define when that condition is not true, after that what the program done will do. So we prepare for that. There are many control structure in every programming language we use. We will learn about that. So you only think about control structure is a part when any condition occur and resolve. Error handling. Error handling, we want a code, we want to run a code, and the code is not runnable. Like when I trying to connect this whole process for this online lecture, but sometimes your technical part is not working. Your technical part is suffer from any other resources. That kind of errors, when you run your program, the program is not on your guide, your syntax, semantic are taking wrongly inputted, so that problems are occur. Next, sir. Already done, sir. Next, sir. Where we want to type a simple code for our language. We thought about how to develop a language that can build many websites from your side. Your thought is that I can also write a program that included many parts, and after my project, we can enable many other people to run that code on my languages. So our thought is uses some features. We want that feature in our language too, like C, C++, Java, Python. All languages have their features. So our conclusion is all fulfillment from our side. So we included like programming languages designing the process of defining the basic tenant like syntax, semantic in features of a programming language. It all about developing a set of rules and convention for writing and implementing software. All about implementing any software. We thought about after my project have done, I write a language. So it can help for other people also. It's not my purpose. When you build a language, a computer language, that helps many other people's organizations, bodies, standard organizations. So it's not helping only you. It's helping all the community beyond your. So you prepare for that language, you have to use all features that might be help to develop a best languages. So syntax is also described in last slide. It refers to the rule to how language is written. Syntax should be consistent and easy to understand, allow programmers to easily read and write code. Data types. I also tell about data types. Data types are many part in integer, float. We use decimal number in float. We use numbers, simple numbers in decimal. Integer part. We use character for character inputting. We use many other things like string, array. So that are data types. So when you use in our languages, we also define which data type can help better in my languages. Also, control structures determine the flow program. I describe the algorithm. Algorithm is simple step-by-step approach to run a program to describe how instruction be varying one step to other step. When we describe this algorithm in a diagrammatic way, in graphical representation, we use flow. We use flow chart. Flow chart, like we maintain a graphical notation to how the data, how the every instruction be followed by one by one. One second. Booleans means binary numbers, 0 and 1s, which machine language will learn. Next, sir. Also, the main features like memory management. Memory management is the process of allocating and deallocating memory in a program. Programming language must provide mechanism for managing memory to prevent memory leaks and other issues. Memory management is most useful part. Every code has their memory. When you start any text in your language, that text also have some part of the storage. So storage means you require a memory. Memory that refer their data type, that text in their storage. So every code, when you start moving the cursor, it's also required some memory. They called temporary memory. We use like RAM for a temporary memory. So any memory part like secondary storage or primary memory and secondary memory, much important to maintain how the process, how the your program, how the your language will further proceeding about memory management. So memory management part is most important. Concurrency. Concurrency is the ability of a program to execute multiple tasks simultaneously. Programming language must provide mechanism for managing concurrency such as threads and synchronization primitives. Concurrency means when you write a code, you run a code, you open any code. So that time it's not lacking. Your code is, you click on that code, but your code is not openly properly. That that spend some time. So your latches, your program, your functioning, your website is also lacking from that problem. So we maintain then concurrency, timing. It's mean the real time. When you run the code is running. It's not lacking any second, any minor second. That problem is maintained by concurrency control. Performance, when concurrency is followed, when memory management is followed, your systems performance, your programs performance, your application performance. I use many terms for your programming. Your programming is not just a program. After collection of that program is called as application. Application reassemble, and also it's working on different kind of features, functions. So they also called a different type of software. So your program is like a system which really produce some interesting work you use before that. So your performance directly improved after your memory management, concurrency, portability. Portability is defined like you write a code your system, your laptop, then you make a project like a software. Okay, like example, our LMS, learning management system. So LMS is working on your laptop is best way, but you start this software on another machine. When this software is lacking on that machine, that's the reason hardware not supported, kind of errors, hardware problems. So the hardware is not properly encoded with the software. So this problem also we need to improve in our computer programming languages. Next, sir. Extensibility. Our code, after a time we need to more code on that code. So need to be a that language we use which can provide the option to extension of that code, that program, that working, that features, that functions. Usability, many times as many as you can, the programmer designed to user friendly, you can easy to use like your Windows operating system. You hear about Linux operating system, you hear about uh, Mac OS. So there are some kind of differences in between different type of user friendly mean you can easily use that software, use that program, use that language. So every program, every language, you must be that easy to understand users. Next, sir. There are multiple factors that affect the choice of programming language that we need to know. Purpose. It specifies the objective of programming language, programmer experience after use of that language, what the programmer answer, which type of that language, what kind of help the language done, which input part is beautiful in that language. Beautiful like it's easy to understand, easy to use. So easy to development and maintenance, sustainability, performance and efficiency, availability of IDE, integrated development environment. So that IDE mean the whole course of that language is maintained by any IDE. When you find that meaning, you go on that IDE. IDE provide all type of syntax, semantic, how the programming, what the features, what the objective, what the purpose, everything included in the whole library, whole grammar, they use and maintained by the IDE. So availability of IDE helping us to find the features, find the code, find the syntax of that language. Error checking and diagnosis also helping us to improve our code more efficiently. When we write the code, the wrong part showing in any color, any pin of message, so we can better our program. Next, sir. So the session summary define as in simple kind of sense, when any language, human language, any computer language, any other gadget languages which perform tasks, which perform some kind of instructions, they how differently maintain, how efficiently maintained, how efficiently, effectively used. So we thought a program. We want to instruction any system. So we need to code a program. And that code written in any languages, in specified language. So we want to work on that key, what kind of languages we can build. The sense said we need a language is wide kind of libraries, wide kind of syntax, wide kind of anything we can easily understand, like human languages English. We use many code part by English languages word. We want to print any output, we use print. So that differentiate to define that grammar in short. In short means in minimum space requirement, in minimum memory requirement, so that can be not uploading that load on our languages. Anything, any code we code is has a large size of code. So mean you are not efficient. We write a code in a simple, in a very small part included in our code. That mean space utilization. That mean time utilization. Every programming language, every software, every application, anyone, any user, any kind of organization wants in small kind of storage, small kind of burden. Like the server load is when your website having many storage part, so it's load on internet. Internet maintain the feasibility any location like uh, cloud technology you followed. So your requirement, develop is just simple number system. You just not define a adding two numbers. You are not define just multiplication. You define logics. You define mathematical calculation in easier, in simpler format. So that you need to program, need to a language which helps your site with easily user friendly way. So we want a code, we want a language in that kind of format, that kind of features, that kind of purposes. So all that part we learn, we studied in last slide, that help us to maintain that kind of approaches to fulfill when we can make a principle of any programming language. So principles of programming language define exactly programming languages, which type of features providing, which kind of purpose fulfilling, which kind of terms, which kind of syntax, which kind of structures follow. So that lecture all about that. So we now started the any queries. If anyone have query about language, don't write here. If you not understand any topic which we learn, that spending time, so that type your problem here.
Okay, so everyone, kindly listen that there is a one announcement that on 18th Monday or 18th September we have a industrial expert session. Okay, so please kindly join. We have shared the link on the WhatsApp group, Telegram group, and on your email. So please check all that. And this is the session. Please ask your all query, because we are getting lots of feedbacks from you that we are not clearing your doubts. So please don't hesitate. Start your asking your query one by one. Okay, write on chat box. We are allowing to unmute yourself. Okay, we will send you the notification. You unmute yourself, and those have any problem, just raise your hand and sir will allow you to speak. Okay, just take care of that. Please ask everything. Okay, if you have any doubt, just raise your hand, sir will allow you. Okay, sir, please go to the
Yes.
participation option and one by one you can allow, ask, you will click the learner's student name. Okay, so you will get the option of ask to unmute.
Okay,
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 one
sir.
by one unmute them, all themselves, and ask them their all queries. Okay, sir. If they are
Okay,
asking in Hindi, just explain in Hindi. Okay,
okay,
because in
okay,
the lecture we can't use, but in query session we can use. So you go for
okay,
that,
sir. Okay, sir.
right, sir?
Okay, sir.
So start unmuting one by one. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, yes. I started, sir. Hello, Samtal.
Hello, sir.
बताइए, sir. No,
Sir,
okay.
can
You can say in Hindi also. I can explain in Hindi. Okay.
सर आप सिंटैक्स का डेफिनेशन एक बार रिपीट कर सकते हैं?
Expert definition or which definition of which principal language?
No, sir, syntax.
Syntax like grammar. We use any languages, Hindi, English. So अपन फॉलो करते हैं कुछ रूल्स. वी यूज पास्ट टेंस. सो वी हैव द वॉज वर्ड डिड काइंड ऑफ दैट पार्ट. अपन प्रोग्रामिंग में जैसे ही कुछ कोड लिखेंगे तो वहां पे उन जो प्रिंसिपल्स को फॉलो करने के लिए कुछ रूल्स होंगे. देट अपन सिंटेक्स नहीं यूज होगा. सिंटेक्स एक वर्ड है, एक कीवर्ड है. उसके बिहाफ पे कुछ रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन के लिए अपन कुछ कुछ रूल्स फॉलो करेंगे. वो अपने क्या कहलाएंगे? सिंटेक्स कहलाएंगे.
ओके सर.
सिंटेक्स सिमेंटिक ये यहाँ पे टर्म है बेटा. जब अपन कोई भी प्रोग्रामिंग लिखते हैं तो उसमें कुछ रूल्स बने हुए हैं. जैसे अपन कहते हैं कि आई एम गोइंग, मैं जा रहा हूं, तो अपन क्या बोलते हैं? आई एम गोइंग. तो आई एम जो यूज किया है वो वैसे कोई वर्ड नहीं है, लेकिन उस सेंटेंस को कंप्लीट करने के लिए या अपन प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज लिखेंगे तो उसमें जो भी लिखा हुआ है उसको जस्टिफाई करने के लिए अपन क्या करेंगे? उसके कुछ सिंटेक्स बने हुए हैं जो अपन ने उस लैंग्वेज को जब बनाया. जैसे अपन सीख रहे हैं कि कोई अपन लैंग्वेज बनाएंगे तो उसके लिए अपन को क्या करना पड़ेगा? तो अपन को अच्छा करना पड़ेगा. अच्छा काइंड ऑफ जो दुनिया में, जो मार्केट में कुछ लैंग्वेजेस पहले से चल रही है जो सॉफ्टवेयर बनाती है, उनमें कौन कौन से अच्छे फीचर्स है वो अपनी इस लैंग्वेज में यूज करेंगे. सो अपन पूरा का पूरा उसके बिहाफ में बात कर रहे हैं.
ठीक है.
ओके,
हाँ.
समझे आप? ओके सोनू, यू कैन.
And everyone, please listen. There is a feedback form. Please fill out the feedback form. If you have any doubts, you can ask in there. If you are facing any issue, please fill in the feedback form. Okay.
Sonu, please tell the issue.
Sir, I don't understand this programming language. Please say in Hindi.
Only problem is about आपको इंग्लिश में बिल्कुल समझ में नहीं आता.
जी.
चलो सबके लिए मैं छोटा सा सेशन है 5 मिनट का. मैं सबके लिए जो सब कुछ सीखा है, सब कुछ मैंने जो डिस्क्राइब किया था लेक्चर में, वो एक ब्रीफली मैं सबको, क्योंकि सबकी क्वेरी मुझे लग रहा है कि सेम है. सो कहने का मतलब है कि आप लोग सब लोग डेली यूज में मोबाइल फोन यूज करते हो, गेमिंग यूज करते हो, सभी चीजें, व्हाट्सएप यूज करते हो, एनी एप्लीकेशन यूज करते हो. इन एप्लीकेशन को आप किसमें यूज करते हो? आपके मोबाइल फोन में, कंप्यूटर में, लैपटॉप में. तो समझने के लिए ये है कि जो कंप्यूटर्स, जो मोबाइल फोन्स, ये जो बने हुए हैं, ये किससे बने हुए हैं? इनकी डेफिनेशन बोलती है ये इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मशीन है. तो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मशीन क्या समझती है? इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मशीन केवल बाइनरी नंबर, बुलियन, जो आप सीखते हो बाइनरी नंबर 0 और 1. सो 0 और 1 को आप जब यूज करते हो मशीन के लिए तो वो दैट इज गुड, वो अच्छा है उस मशीन के लिए. लेकिन जब आप उसको याद रख करोगे, आपको अपना नाम लिखना है, मेरा नाम लिखना है, जैसे मेरा नाम अजय है, तो मैं अजय को लिखूं तो अजय को मैं अजय लिखूंगा, दैट्स फाइन. आप अंडरस्टैंड कर रहे हो, मैं कर रहा हूं. लेकिन अगर अजय को मैं 0 और 1 में लिखूं तो कैसा लगेगा? तो कंप्यूटर, आपकी मशीन, कोई भी प्रकार का गैजेट, वो समझता है केवल 0 और 1, और अपन समझते हैं अपनी टाइप ऑफ लैंग्वेज. तो क्या हुआ? इंसान, ह्यूमन और उस कंप्यूटर के गैप को मेंटेन करने के लिए ह्यूमन ने एक काइंड ऑफ इंटरफेस बनाया कि इसकी हेल्प से अगर अपनी जो थॉट है, अपना जो प्रोग्राम है, अपने जो विचार चल रहा है, जो अपन को सोल्व करवाना है कंप्यूटर से, तो वो कंप्यूटर डायरेक्ट उसको नहीं सोल्व कर पा रहा है। उसके लिए अपन एक लैंग्वेज बना दी कि ये लैंग्वेज क्या करेगी, उस कोड को अपने आप से 0 और 1 में कर देगी। किस में करेगी? 0 और 1 में। तो 0 और का मतलब कि एक इंटरफेस मिल गया, जो आप अजय लिखोगे उसको अपने आप 0 और 1 में करेगा, वो उसकी हेडेक है। और वो कंपाइल होके किसके पास चला जाएगा? कंप्यूटर के पास। वो कंप्यूटर उस 0 और 1 को समझ के अपने आप समझ लेगा कि इन्होंने अजय लिख के भेजा है। तो अपन को वो काम करवाने के लिए, वो इंस्ट्रक्शन अपने जो थॉट्स है उनको रन करवाने के लिए मशीन से अपन एक इंटरफेस डेवलप करते हैं, जिसको अपन बोलते हैं प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज। जिसमें अपन अपनी जो प्रोसेसिंग, जो कंप्यूटर से, जो मोबाइल फोन से, किसी डिवाइस से अपन करवाना चाहते हैं, वो अपन उसको प्रोग्राम कर देंगे। और उसको प्रोग्राम करने के लिए अपन को उस प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज की नीड होगी। जैसे आपको इंग्लिश सीखना है तो इंग्लिश की आपको पढ़ाई इंग्लिश की करनी पड़ती है, हिंदी सीखना है तो हिंदी की पढ़ाई करनी पड़ती है। तो दैट मीन यू नीड स्पेसिफाइड लैंग्वेज दैट हेल्प, वो आपकी हेल्प करेगी उस मशीन को 0 और 1 समझाने। तो 0 और 1 की जो डिफरेंस है उसको बोलते हैं मशीन लैंग्वेज। 0 और 1 बोलते हैं मशीन लैंग्वेज, और उसको लैंग्वेज में बोला जाता है लो लेवल लैंग्वेजेस, इज कॉल्ड लो लेवल लैंग्वेजेस। एंड आवर लैंग्वेज इज कॉल्ड हाई लेवल लैंग्वेजेस, जिसको आजकल आप C++, ये सभी लैंग्वेजेस हाई लेवल है। इनमें जो कोड लिखा हुआ है वो यूजर कैन इजीली अंडरस्टैंड, इजीली कोड। दैट मीन इट्स इंग्लिश लाइक कोड, आपकी लैंग्वेज जैसा ही कोड है वो। सो उस डिफरेंस को, अपन को गैप को मेंटेन करने के लिए अपन एक सॉफ्टवेयर बनाएंगे, जिसमें अपन और सॉफ्टवेयर बनाएंगे। कहने का मतलब है एक ऐसा सॉफ्टवेयर बनाएंगे जिसमें अपन आगे जाके उसी सॉफ्टवेयर से बहुत सारे सॉफ्टवेयर बनाएंगे। तो पेरेंट पार्ट हो गया जिसमें सब कुछ है, और उससे आपको क्या करना है, मेनी पार्ट अपन को क्या करना है, बिल्ड करने हैं। तो आपने एक बड़ा सारा एक ऐसा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बनाया, उसी में आप चीजें, जैसे आपके यहाँ पे कुछ आयरन निकला, तो आयरन निकलने के बाद उसके फॉर्मेशन क्या होते हैं वो अलग है, लेकिन आयरन एक किसी ना किसी पर्टिकुलर स्पेस से आपको क्या मिल रहा है, उसको आप उसको वहां से कैप्चर कर पा रहे हो। तो आपको पहले वैसी जगह बनानी चाहिए, उससे आप सॉफ्टवेयर बना सकते हो। तो एक वाइड थॉट होती है, और वाइड थॉट के लिए अपन को उसकी रूल्स रेगुलेशंस, उसकी गाइडलाइन, उसके जो वे ऑफ वर्किंग है, वे ऑफ प्रोसेसिंग है, वे ऑफ स्टेप बाय स्टेप अप्रोचेस है, वो अपन सब उसमें इंक्लूड करेंगे। तो यहाँ पे प्रिंसिपल का मतलब है उस सिद्धांत को, आप लोग अपने डेली लाइफ में कुछ रूल्स फॉलो करते हो, वो आपके क्या है, प्रिंसिपल्स है। तो जैसे आप यहाँ पे इस प्रोग्रामिंग को लिखोगे तो ये एक स्टैंडर्ड फॉलो करती है, इसमें आप कुछ भी नहीं लिख सकते। ऐसा नहीं है कि आपके मन में आया वो लिख दिया। तो इन्होंने कुछ टाइप ऑफ प्रिंसिपल बना रखे हैं, वही आपको फॉलो करने हैं। और उसी के बारे में अपन ने पूरा पढ़ा है कि अपन क्या क्या फॉलो कर सकते हैं, कैसे फीचर डाल सकते हैं जो आपकी हेल्प करे, कैसी उसकी रूल हो सके, कैसे वो रेस्पेक्ट करे आपकी बाकी प्रोग्रामिंग में। उसका वहां तो अच्छा मार्केट है ना। वो डिफ्रेंशिएट किसके साथ होगी? अदर प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस के साथ। तो अगर आपकी लैंग्वेजेस ज्यादा बेटर है तो आप वाली लैंग्वेज को लोग ज्यादा प्रेफर करेंगे और अपने सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप करेंगे। ये इजी, एकदम ग्राउंडेड जो एक्सप्लेनेशन है कि प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेजेस क्या हेल्प करेगी, क्या उनके प्रिंसिपल्स है। अपन को इस कंप्लीट यूनिट में जो अपन को अंडरस्टैंड करना है कि आपको कंप्यूटर को इंस्ट्रक्शन देने हैं। तो कंप्यूटर को इंस्ट्रक्शन देने के लिए आपको रिक्वायर्ड है 0 और 1 की, और वो 0 और 1 को आपकी लैंग्वेज से जो गैप मेंटेन करना है, उसके लिए आपको क्या चाहिए? कंप्यूटर लैंग्वेजेस। उसको अपन को कैसे बनाना है, वो आपके पास ये पूरा का पूरा जो यूनिट है, मॉड्यूल है, यहाँ पे डिफाइन किया। अंडरस्टूड? सान, any still having any issue? Love
Yeah, I
Kumar?
have a question. Hi, Shahan.
Yes, San.
Yeah, so I wanted to know what is the difference between portability and compatibility.
Portability means your design code is portable for any machine to run, to program, reprogram your program and other kind of applications. And any other word you use? Compatibility. Hello, San.
Yeah, I was not able to unmute myself. Yeah, right. Compatibility.
Compatibility also same, but it's depend when you program code on that your language. We put a language in our system, but when write any type of language on that language, we write used to any syntax apart from other languages, but it's not compatible on that machine. We use like two type of machine, 32-bit operating system and 64 operating system. We use any Android machine, we use web kind of software, so that compatibility is issuing. When you design the actual language, is not prefer any kind of hardware part, but after installing that kind of language, you write a code, but that code is also dependable on that machine, so the compatibility is following the nature by that machine. Marcus?
So yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Sir, can you give an example for those syntax abbreviation, like?
No, time is lacking, but I will explain in next lecture also.
Okay. Okay.
So everyone, this from my side may be helping you for understanding the principle of programming language. Sir, we can left the
Okay, so anyone have any doubts? Those can write in the chat box. If you are not, then we go ahead. Okay. Anyone have? Yeah. Sir, Dora Fast have the query. Okay, just unmute himself. Dora Fast, please raise your hand, then we can unmute your mic, right? So those are who put their hands up, just clear their doubts only. Okay.
yes. I already done San. We saw. That not accepting now. Hello Vishal, बताइए. Tell me.
Sir, what are the principles for a programming language? Please repeat, sir.
What you can understand, what you can't understand, please tell me that topic. It's already I defined it. Any principal language ensure about effective and efficient way, like easy to use. That are the core principle of that. Hello Mandar.
Hello, sir. Actually, I just want to know that C plus and C plus plus requires an IDE for as a compiler to understand the. But previously, it can be used without an IDE.
Yes, we can use through Notepad. We can work on other Eclipse and many other softwares. There is no big problem. In last few years, we work on IDE. So we are more comfort on that. That uses most of the C language libraries. So easy to help part, we use these IDE. Okay. Subham.
Sir, when we will learn this programming language practically, means can we show you our
Yes. You also have lab for that kind of languages. So when lab started, you will learn about that. Rohit Kumar. Hello, Rohit.
What is
Rohit, your voice is not clear. You can write your query in chat.
हेलो सर
हाँ,
हेलो
बताइए रोहित.
सर सिंटेक्स को सर एक बार क्लियर कीजिए ना.
सिंटेक्स मीन
यस सर.
जब भी आप कोड लिखोगे, फर्स्ट टाइम वी राइट आवर कोड, so the code started with any keyword, any text that followed by other text. means अपन कोई पैराग्राफ लिखते हैं, कोई आर्टिकल लिखते हैं, कुछ भी अपन लेटर राइटिंग स्टार्ट करते हैं, तो वी यूज सम काइंड ऑफ dear. So dear in that letter is called as syntax of that letter. But in programming languages, there are different names. There are main function, there are data types, that called as syntax, which we use in our programming language. अपन उनको अपनी उस प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज में क्या करेंगे, इंक्लूड करेंगे. वो क्या डिफाइन करेंगे, उनके रूल्स होंगे कि आपको ऐसा लिखना है, ऐसा आपको आउटपुट चाहिए, तो आपको ये वाला रूल फॉलो करना है. तो दे टर्म जो आपको फॉलो करवाएगी वो आपकी क्या कहलाएगी, सिंटेक्स कहलाएगी.
Okay, so everyone, have you heard that? Have you all received your industrial expert session in the WhatsApp group? So please kindly join on Monday. Okay, this is organized for you only, guys. Okay, and please be ready. I have shared the next class link in the WhatsApp group, and those who are not joined yet, so go to the LMS and join from there. Okay, so we are just ending this session. Thank you so much. And please fill the feedback form. We require that we can improve our live lecture also. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Okay. We are just ending this session. Please
Okay,
join next class on time. Okay.
Okay, sir. अरे माँ